everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Marley Reads a Lot. Today I'm doing a sit-down video. I feel like it's been a while since I filmed one of these, and it's actually part 2 in a series that I started where I recommend books for songs by the artist LAUV, as he is my favorite artist. It's sort of a trend on YouTube to recommend books based on songs and based on artists. So I'm kind of just hopping on the trend. This video, part 1 of this video, was actually one of my least viewed videos. So we're not really after the views with this one, but I just felt like I had a bunch more recommendations for his songs. So I just wanted to make a part 2 today for fun, for myself. I feel like this camera is not straight.
I wish that you and I lived in The Sims. We could build a house and plant some flowers and have kids. But we're both at some trashy Halloween party downtown. And I'll probably never see you again. Ooh, goddamn, I wish we would've met on another night, baby. Maybe then I wouldn't let you leave me. Yeah, ooh, goddamn, I wish we would've met on another night, baby.
So first up is the song Sims. It's one of my favorite songs. I think it was like my most played song of 2020, potentially. Basically, LAUV is just talking about how he wishes that him and his romantic love interest could live in The Sims so they could be together and have this perfect life, because obviously they don't have that in real life. And this song just made me think of Just One Day by Gail Foreman. And I think I also read the companion novel Just One Year as well. Basically, this first book, at least, was about this girl who I think she sort of had a very like sheltered, probably like goody girl, and she spends this one night in England, or one day in England, with this boy, and they kind of have this whirlwind love affair for that day. And then the next morning she wakes up and he's gone, and then she spends the whole rest of the book basically without him. And like, I'm not sure if she's trying to get back with him, but it's kind of just about like the impact that he had on her. And I feel like that really fits this song, because the couple were not able to be together for a variety of different reasons, and they probably wish that they could just live in The Sims and spend that time together like they did that first night. So that is a book that I think fits this song.
Midtown, almost got a place out of Midtown. Instead I took a plane out of this town. Missed out on us, wasted. All of my regret, I can taste it. If I had a time machine, I would take it and make it back to us. Didn't know it then, but now I know all this time. I should've believed in us while we existed. 'Cause now the whole thing's fucked, and just a figment of my imagination. If I could bring it back, I would, but it's just way too late for that. Should've believed in us.
So this next song is called Believed, and it's clearly a very like angsty song. LAUV's like saying how they should have believed in the relationship, and I just feel like every like angsty song like that reminds me of Evelyn Hugo, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. In this book, we're following Evelyn, and she's very set on being this starlet, this famous actress in Hollywood, and that is really what she prioritizes over her love, over her romance. So that's why I feel like it's probably her love interest saying, why couldn't you have believed in us? Because Evelyn like has trouble doing that and has trouble putting the relationship over her career. So that's what I recommend for this song.
Billy had dreams of a sailor, on an astronaut. Nobody told him the world was me. Billy grew up in a trailer, and nobody thought he could amount to anything. But I knew he would, because he has a heart of gold. Whoa, oh, oh. Hey, whoa, whoa, channeled your energy.
Okay, so this song is Billy. I think this is a really fun song and I really like the idea behind it. Obviously, if you listen to the lyrics, it's about someone who was always bullied and put down and underrated and then ends up finding success and it's kind of like, look at me now kind of thing. So like an underdog story. So I have a couple for this. One of the first ones is a bit of an older one and that's gonna be Dumplin' by Julie Murphy, which I'm sure many people know as it was also turned into a Netflix movie. But it's about this girl, she's plus size and she's always been put down by her mother who's like this pageant queen. And so obviously she pressures her to be thinner and be a certain type of way. And she ends up enrolling in this pageant and no one thinks she would do well, right? Because she doesn't have that typical pageant look, that typical figure that everyone sort of looks up to. And she just might do well in the competition. Similarly, more of a newer, I hope you can't hear that construction, oh my god. A newer kind of version of this is You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. This is about a young girl who is really, again, not your typical prom queen type of girl. She's not really into all that, but when she finds out that she could win money by being prom queen, which she really needs to get into university, she decides to enter to be prom queen. Basically, she is the underdog again in that situation, and I won't spoil what happens, but it is a YA contemporary, so you can imagine that it's a pretty happy ending, and I feel like it was a good underdog story. I should also mention this one has LGBT rep as well, as our main character is queer, which is another thing that sort of ends up working against her in this story, as same-gender dates are banned at the prom at her school.
Is my love too much? Or is it just enough for you? For you? 'Cause I'm bad at reading signs, but I wanna do whatever you wanna do. If you wanted to, girl, we could cross that line. No, we've been friends enough, only knows broken ends. Yeah, that's what you said. Girl, let me change your mind. And these feelings are hard to find.
This is another one of my absolute favorite songs by him. It's called Feelings. It is about these two people that have always been friends, but they have very strong feelings for each other and they're not sure if they should cross that line or not into romance, because it could ruin their friendship, blah blah blah. So I really like the trope of friends to lovers. I feel like I haven't read too many lately, but one that is just a classic for me that I read growing up was Confessions of Georgia Nicholson by Louise Renison. I don't really know which book in the series exactly to say because I think there's 10 of them, but I mean that's kind of the point. This main couple in this book that I adore and is one of my OTPs, you really see their friendship flourish throughout the books and you really see their relationship develop. And Georgia has like multiple love interests in this series and so many of them are like based on lust or just based on looks and infatuation. The ship that I like, if you read them, I'm sure you know, it is based in friendship and laughs and it's just super cute. So that's what I have to say for like one of my favorite friendships to lovers book series.
I've been thinking that life's too short. So many friends got their life cut short. Now I'm standing here doing lines in the bathroom. I hate myself, but I felt like I had to. Come remember that I love her, and I'm sorry for the pain. Sorry for the pain that it caused her when I was younger. All the stress I put in.
So this song is called Tell My Mama and it's kind of a random recommendation, but obviously I had to choose a book that had a very strong mother-son relationship, and the one that I thought of most is from the book series The Nick Chronicles by Sherilyn Kenyon. So this is definitely an older book. It's like YA fantasy. I read it I think back in high school and there are a lot of books, I'll warn you. But anyways, this song is obviously about a guy or a kid who is just feeling very bad, feeling a lot of remorse for everything that he put his mother through when he was younger, and just really stressing her out. So in this series, it's kind of complex for me to describe it, but Nick is like a demon hunter. Actually, I think this is the author that like tried to sue Cassandra Clare back in the day for like copyright, because I think they're called dark hunters or something like that. But anyways, he is like this little demon hunter, and there's a lot of different adventures that he goes on, and there's a lot of demons, vampires, stuff like that. And his poor mother is described as like the sweetest woman, you know, loves to take care of everyone, that kind of thing. Her and Nick are extremely close, and she's always just being driven crazy by all of the crazy things that he gets into, a lot of life and death situations. So that is the series that I think fits this song best.
Outlines of you, lies and visions of you. Girl, I think I need a minute to figure out what it's poison. These choices and voices that are right in my head. Sometimes you make me feel crazy. Sometimes I swear I think you hate me like how are you? 'Cause you're not the girl I fell in love with, baby. How are you? 'Cause something has changed.
So this song's called Who, and it features BTS, so potentially more people have heard of this one. Hear me out for this recommendation. So clearly to me, this song is from a guy's point of view, and he feels like he doesn't know his girlfriend anymore, I guess. So something that happens in relationships, of course. But the book that I want to recommend for this song is Verity by Colleen Hoover. And I know I'm kind of just shouting into the void at this point, because Verity by Colleen Hoover has really picked up traction and a lot of people have read it. But we are following this author in this book, and she gets the opportunity to go be a ghostwriter for this other author named Verity, who has been in this accident, and she can no longer continue her like murder mystery series that she has. So our main character, forget her name, goes to Verity's house and like is looking through her office, like gonna try and complete her work. And while she's there, she finds out some mysterious things about Verity, and she starts to develop a thing with Verity's husband. Meanwhile, Verity is still in the house, like comatose, I guess, not conscious, or at least appears like she's not conscious. Maybe she is. The whole book is basically not just her husband and the main character, but like all of us being like, who is Verity? It's very much a question of who she is, what type of character she is. I want to say she's morally gray, but at the end of the day, she's either bad or she's either good. But yeah, basically our main character finds this so-called journal or autobiography, sorry, from Verity, and it's just very questionable. And so it's kind of like, who the heck is Verity really? Is she this poor woman that's been in an accident, or is she kind of evil herself? So there's my recommendation for that song.
I'm so tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love. Just wanna go home, wanna go home, wanna go home. Oh, so tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love songs, tired of love. Just wanna go home, wanna go home, wanna go home. Oh, party, trying my best to be somebody. Everybody around me's falling in love to our song.
So the song's called I'm So Tired, and it has Troye Sivan on it, so another popular track and one of my favorites. Obviously in this song, the singer's talking about how they're so tired of love songs, they're so tired of love, just want to go home, just want to go home. Oh. Book that I chose for this one is Loveless by Alice Oseman. I feel like this was like a very clear choice for me, as our main character, Georgia, is discovering her sexuality. So at the beginning, she's never dated, she's never really had any real crushes, which I think fits the line of like, I'm at a party trying to find someone. Like that's kind of how this book starts. Georgia's like, hey, I'm 18, going to college, I have to find someone now. Like, this is getting ridiculous. I want to fit in with my friends who are dating people, having sex and all that. Throughout the book, she is discovering her sexuality, that there's more than just being straight or gay. There's also being aromantic, being asexual. Hint, she may identify as those. So I thought it just sort of fit, like Georgia's so tired of love songs, tired of love. You know, she's not about that. She's not about that life. What is with the knocking? Yeah, she's basically just over feeling that pressure that she has to like people in a romantic or sexual way, and you don't have to conform to other people's ideas of love and relationships. So personally, I felt this song was like pretty perfect for Loveless. So if you relate to this song, then you may relate to this book too.
I think I'm gonna take a break. I've got on. Probably won't last that long. But Lord knows I could use some sleep. Changes, they might drive you half insane, but it's killing you to stay the same. It's all gonna work out, it's all gonna work out someday.
So this song is called Changes. Obviously, it's about needing to make some changes in your life to have a better quality life, and that includes giving up substances, drinking, drugs, partying. This construction is insane. So one of the clear go-to books that I thought of with these topics is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. A lot of people know that this is about being a rock star in the 70s, the music, the band, the relationships. And maybe it's obvious, but I didn't really know going into this that it was also about substance abuse and addiction. So if you didn't know that, now you do. And so if you like the idea of this song, of needing to make a change for yourself, for your family, your friends, this would be a really good book to read. It's super short. As I said, it's also very fun. It's about a band and like making music and the craziness of touring, but also like needing to make those changes for yourself, for others. It's an interview style, which is like one of the only books I've read like that. So yeah, instantly when I heard the song, I knew that I had to recommend Daisy Jones and the Six. So yeah, check it out if you haven't.
I don't wanna be sad forever. I don't wanna be sad no more. I don't wanna wake up and wonder what the hell am I doing this for? I don't wanna be medicated. I don't wanna go through that war. I don't wanna be sad. I don't wanna be sad. I don't wanna be sad anymore. I don't wanna be sad forever. I don't wanna live one more day. I just wanna wake up and realize everything's gonna be okay. I don't know how else to say it. I don't wanna go through that war. I don't wanna be sad. I don't wanna be sad. I don't wanna be sad anymore.
So this song is called Sad Forever. I really do like the song as well. I feel like it's pretty relatable. And yeah, LAUV sings about a variety of topics, and I really like when he sings about mental health as well. The recommendation I have for this one I think is pretty good, pretty spot on, and that is More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. Now, I am no Adam Silvera stan. I have some issues with his books. However, I do feel like they take on some very interesting topics. I think they have a lot of good diversity in them, and they deal with mental health and important things like that. It's about a guy who struggles with depression, so definitely fits the song, and he just wants to be more happy than not. Like, he's not asking to be the happiest person in the world. He just doesn't want to be sad forever. Or so sad. So he has a bunch of different issues going on. A family member has recently passed away from suicide, and he's also dealing with things with his sexuality. It's kind of hard to speak too much more about this because there is kind of like a twist partway through the book, but basically just know deals with mental health, deals with your sexuality, trigger warnings for depression, suicide. Definitely a lot of heavy topics in here, but I believe this was my favorite Adam Silvera book. I'm trying to remember, but I think it was. So that's why out of all of his books, I think I would recommend this one the most. So that's what I'm gonna match with this song.
Do you still remember the way that we felt when we were kids? Wonder if that place still exists. We lived for the moment, and fear was a stranger to our lives. I wonder if that place still exists. It's the invisible things that I love the most. It's the way that I feel when I hold you close. 'Cause everything else
So this one is called Invisible Things. To me, this song is about a childhood relationship or friendship turning into lovers when they're older, and just like a very sweet relationship. Things were easier when they were kids, but now things are like a little bit more complicated now that they're older, but they still have those feelings for each other. So what I wanted to recommend was a Morgan Matson book. I think the one I'm going to recommend is Second Chance Summer. This is following our main character who, kind of classic beginning, her and her family used to always go to this cottage every summer, and then something happens and she no longer goes. I think the rest of her family like stopped going for a while, and then something else happens where they're like, okay, let's go for like kind of like our last summer here, kind of like our second chance summer. Our main character meets up with this guy that she liked when she was a kid and she was friends with when she was a kid. They sort of rekindle what friendship they had. There was some drama, so they had to like rekindle the friendship, and then obviously it becomes more. But actually what I really like about this book is there was more than just the romance. As there normally is with Morgan Matson, there was a lot of family stuff. This is one of the few books last year that made me cry, so there is some sadder things, but I think it sort of goes with like the sadder tone of the song too. So that is what I'm gonna match with this book, and I think that will be the last song that we do, the last pairing. Let me know what you thought of this if you got this far, and please subscribe, as I am very close to 200 subscribers, and that would mean so much to me to reach another 100. And of course, leave me a like and a comment as well. I upload Tuesdays and Thursdays, sometimes only Tuesdays if I'm too busy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully I get more views on this one than my part 1, but definitely go check out part 1 if you like this idea, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.